What's going on, you guys? It's Bre'Aunna and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited because I will be sharing with you guys how I am funding appropriately to save up for my very first apartment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So before we got into all of the very specific details, I did kind of want to note and make a disclaimer. So I currently live with my parents. I'm currently in my room. Okay, so I am not searching for apartments yet, and I will get a little bit deeper into that into the video later on. It'll come across the content and all the information that I'll be sharing with you guys, but I did just want to clear up and put out there that I am still currently living with my parents. This is kind of like me pre saving to move out into my apartment. So this is just kind of like the savings part of things. So I'm not saving up to buy furniture. I'm not saving up to buy like a TV stand, or I'm not like doing any of those. Okay, so I'm not buying any type of like utilities or furniture or saving up for bills or anything like that. This is generalization of saving up for everything that I'm gonna need for my first apartment. So let's get straight into that. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit of background. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Bre'Aunna. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and like I mentioned, live with my parents currently. I'm 21 years old. I don't know if I said that before, but I turned 21 in July, so fresh 21. And I plan on having my own apartment, at least a one-bedroom apartment, by the time that I am 24. So I have a 3-year plan, and I'm going to show you guys my 3-year plan chart in just a quick second, but just kind of some back review, overall facts about me. So I live with my parents. I'm 21. I work. I also own my own business, and I do business part-time and I work part-time. Usually I only work 2 days out of the week. So I have a retail job that I work a few days out of the week, and then the rest of the time is strictly focused on elevating and growing my business. So the ultimate goal is for me to be a full-time business owner by the time that I'm 24. So let's go ahead and get into my 3-year plan chart. The goal for my 3-year plan is by September of 2024, which means that I will be 24 years old. I want to have my own apartment, and I want to have a 1-bedroom apartment. I want to have a home office, and I want my home office to be in like my dining area space, not necessarily the living room, but a little bit over to the side where like a dining table would go. And in my office space, I want to have a desktop, which is like a computer. I want to have a printer. I want to have like a full desk, and I also want to have like a rolling chair. And then I just remind myself of like my color scheme. So my business color scheme is gray, pink, and like a bluish tealish color. So that's just kind of my theme that I have going on. It's the basics. That's the goal by the time I'm 24. I want to have that. I want to be living in it. I want to be basking in all of that greatness, as well as being a full-time business owner. And again, I'm not going to get too deep into like the business technicalities of it, but it's very important for you guys to know that I do want to be a full-time business owner, with a 1-bedroom apartment. So now that I've told you guys kind of like the layout part of it, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dig deeper and really get into the funding and how I am going to and how I have been saving my money over the past week or so. So let's go ahead and get into that. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up another screenshot or a picture on this side of the screen now, and this is kind of like an overview of what I call my weekly funding goal. And I wrote this in October, for the month of October. So I'm currently filming this on Monday. So we are in the last week of September. Now I don't know when I'll upload this, but this goal oriented, all of these facts that are on this screenshot are for the month of October. Now you're probably wondering, why did I decide to set a weekly funding goal and not a monthly one? So we're gonna go ahead and get right into all of the technicalities. So let's get it. It's actually not as hard to save as a lot of people would think, as long as you have self-control and as long as you have self-discipline. It's actually fairly easy to save your money and not blow it on tons of stuff that you know that you don't need. And it actually makes it a little bit of a challenge, but it's actually like a good thing that you can also be proud of yourself for when you start to reach your goals. Of course, have to have smaller goals and really break down the bigger goal in order to realistically be able to reach that goal. So that is what I'm going to talk about now, starting with why I set a weekly goal for myself and not a monthly. Okay, it all comes down to how much money I make and when I get paid. So I work in retail and I get paid weekly. So I based my funding and my savings off of how much money I want to spend maximum in a week. Somebody else on YouTube, I was watching her funding video, and she was talking about how in order to figure out how much she should be spending and actually what she spends her money on in a month, she actually went to the bank and she had actually printed out every single one of her receipts, and it's basically like not a receipt but like her invoices for the month. So every single thing, every single item that she had spent her money on and what she spent it on. So like food, was it a bill, was it a utility, was it like a living resource? So she printed out all of that from the bank. And personally, I don't feel like I need to do that because I know exactly what I spend my money on. But also her versus me. So I am basing my savings off of a weekly basis versus her, which is a monthly basis. So I can kind of see why she would want to go to the bank and print out and really get all of the receipts that she had spent her money on in a month's span. But me personally, I know what I spend my money on in a week, so I don't really need to go to the bank and ask them, hey, could you print these out? Because I need to know like what I spend my money on. Okay, personally, I just know what I spend my money on. Okay, so again, I'm going off of a weekly basis because I get paid weekly. If you get paid every 2 weeks, you would want to base your funding and your goal setting off of what you spend and how much you want to save every 2 weeks. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that same screenshot back up of my weekly goal setting for the month of October for this year, because we are going to get into the step-by-step goals and kind of what you want to look for and how you are specifically going to set these goals for yourself. So I have 3 different categories here. I have food, I have business inventory, and I also have living essentials. Now, these numbers may and very well are going to be very different from your numbers that you come up with. And I'm actually going to tell you how I came up with these numbers as we go down the list. So the first thing, we're going to go ahead and start out with food. From here on out, I will not be spending any more money in 1 week's span than $15 on food. Now, I know y'all are probably like, $15 in a week, sis. I could do that in 1 day. But listen, you guys have to remember that everybody's situation is different, okay? I live with my parents, therefore, I don't need to buy a month's worth of food. I don't need to buy like $60 worth of groceries that is going to last me a month, because again, I am basing my goal off of a weekly basis because I get paid weekly and my parents feed me, so I don't feel the need to go out and buy a bunch of groceries because there honestly would be nowhere for me to put it. Okay, so my goal right now is to spend no more than $15 in a month, and that is specifically on food. Now, how did I come up with $15? Well, typically when I buy food from the stores, I will go to places like the dollar store, or I'll go to like a corner store, or I'll go to Walmart, and usually the food that I buy is like candy and like snacks, like little granola bars, maybe like a soda or like a Gatorade. So I gave myself a very, very small amount of money that I am allowing myself to spend. And I originally was going to put $10 as my maximum, but I put $15 instead, just in case there is a week or there is a time where I maybe go out to a restaurant with a friend or with my family. I want to be able to spend that money. So I can spend a little bit less money on food just because I do live with my family and it's not me in my own place yet. So remember, guys, this is me saving up to get my own place and just kind of getting in the habits of what I need and what I don't need. So that is the food section. Now, moving on to the second category, business inventory. So it is exactly what it sounds like. It's literally just inventory for my business. So that includes ingredients, that includes containers, that's like stickers, that includes like business cards, all of that. So my max that I have set for my business inventory is $30. And I also want you guys to remember that this is not a forever span. This is just for the month of October. When we get closer to the holiday season, the amount of money that I'm going to allow myself to spend on my business inventory is going to go up, just because I will want to switch it up a little bit to kind of get a Christmassy feel for my different inventory and stuff. And I actually am working on some very new things that are going to be dropping in the holiday season. So I will give myself a higher budget amount than just $30, because honestly, business inventory is very, very expensive and $30 is not going to get me anywhere, especially with the things that I am planning on doing at the moment. So currently I am not at all looking into buying any business inventory, nothing extra, because there's nothing that I need currently for my business. All of my products are made, and I actually am not going to be making any more products until I sell out of what I have. Okay, so my budget of $30 is actually not bad. Personally, I don't believe I'm going to spend any money on business inventory that will go towards my business in the month of October. So I feel like I'm kind of good there. I don't really have to worry about it. I just kind of wanted to set a realistic goal for myself, just in case I saw something on like Amazon, because I do watch a ton of YouTube must-have small business inventory videos on here, and I see a lot of cute stuff, but I have very, very good self-discipline where I could crack down on myself and say, hey, you don't really need that, because I'm seriously trying to save up. You guys, it's very important for me to have self-discipline, so I kind of just have this amount kind of saved in my mind and kind of there, you know, just for good habits. But I honestly don't believe that I'm going to be spending any money on business inventory in the month of October. So again, no worries there. And third, last, but certainly not least, is category number 3, way at the bottom, is living essentials. So for living essentials, this includes things like toilet paper, this includes soap, this includes like body care, this includes hair products for myself, this includes kind of like not self-care things, but things that I need in order to live my life, you know, to be clean, to be organized, stuff like that. So that is what this last category basically is. And for living essentials, I have set aside $20 is the max that I can spend per week. $20 is not a lot of money for living essentials. And again, I wanted to note that actually my numbers are also very low, because I want you guys to remember that this is on a weekly basis. This is not monthly, but weekly, because I do get paid on a weekly basis and not a bi-weekly basis. So if I got paid every 2 weeks, my goals in my funding and my savings that I would have set for myself would be based on every 2 weeks. But because I get paid every once a week, my goals are based on every once a week. And personally, I only ever have to buy like toiletries, like toilet paper, maybe like once a month, if that, because again, my parents, they buy most of that stuff, but sometimes I'll help out. So that number is not going to stay $20 forever. Very, very essential that you guys remember that I am setting these goals based on month, as well as how much I get paid every week. And how many times I'm getting paid. So again, the weekly, bi-weekly, that is what I'm basing it all on. So that is pretty much kind of the basis on how I decide how much I'm spending each week. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, also for living essentials, I don't drive, but I do catch the bus. So that includes my bus fare as well. I actually have an Orca card. So I have a bus card that I just swipe. So if I were needing to take out like $20, for the week, that would be that. I won't be able to buy any toiletries or any deodorant. Obviously, let's hope it doesn't come to that, because I can't just not buy my deodorant for myself. That would be nasty. It's just a prime example, okay? So if you drive, the money that you spend on gas or your phone bill, that would go into your living essentials, okay? So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, just to clear the air a little bit, just in case you guys had any questions about that. But yeah. If you made it this far into the video, I want to say congratulations, because that was a lot of information. Please let me know if you guys have any questions about how I do my funding, whether that be my weekly pay, whether that be me setting how much I'm allowing myself to spend maximum monthly or weekly or bi-weekly or whatever the case may be. Please put your comments down below. I would be happy to answer them. Again, I just wanted to note that this is just me getting in the habit of saving and not overspending. I am not currently looking for an apartment, and I don't plan on looking for an apartment or moving out of my parents' place for another 2 or 3 years. So this is just kind of being started on self-discipline early, and really being able to save the money that I know I'm going to need later on when I actually am ready and financially stable to look for my own place and move into my own place and be a very big girl, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Again, please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to catch you guys in my next YouTube video. Mwah. Bye, guys.